I did grow up with Ryan, and when I first found out about cystic fibrosis, I didn't quite understand what it was. It's a hard concept for somebody who doesn't know what it is to understand. You think, oh, he's got breathing problems. You don't know really what they are, but you know he has trouble breathing. I think it kind of goes back to he's my half brother, so we come from separate families. We didn't actually grow up in the same household. And I got to know Ryan, man, we're 10 years apart, so probably when he was about 6 or 7, and we were immediately best friends. It's kind of funny because you didn't know each other that well, and then all of a sudden you're very close. So my first foray into the world of trying to understand it was to do what everybody does, is to type it into Google and say, what is cystic fibrosis? And there's a lot of medical lingo, and there's a lot of charts and graphs and stuff that's hard to understand, what the drugs are, what the treatments are, what the pills are to take. And so I guess the first thing was a real shock, and to be kind of really scared, because you're looking at a young kid who is up to your waist, and you already love him, but you're like, wow, how long does this person have? And so my first thoughts were more of being scared and afraid. And as I got to understand it more, it doesn't make you less afraid, but it makes you more understanding. And knowledge is an important thing in that aspect, where you learn what you can do to help, whether it's carrying around his enzymes for him, or forcing him to do a breathing treatment, or the nebulizer when he doesn't want to do it because he's a little kid, and that's no fun. He'd rather be out in the living room watching TV, or rather be out at the park, throwing the baseball around or getting on the skateboards or whatever it was. But fear that led to an understanding. Ryan is a very unique person, and I mean, the question is threefold, but I'll start at the beginning. You asked what his achievements are. He's an amazing individual. Just like most people with CF, the way that they are constricted in life, he doesn't see it as a constriction or a constraint. He literally goes out there, acts like a normal human being, regardless of having to wake up in the morning and do his breathing treatment, take pills, do things differently, right? He just graduated college, and what an achievement, right? He left the nest at home and left the safety of having his mother and father and brother and sister there, and went all the way up to Oregon. So he's a duck, and did it all on his own, and it's scary to watch somebody go someplace so far where you no longer can be there if you need to. You can't just pick up and drive 45 minutes to Chino Hills, which is where he's from, and make sure that everything's okay. You lose that kind of security. But that being said, he graduated with very high marks in high school, played sports, played on the high school golf team, so he's athletic, he's always outdoors. He went to college, played a little bit with the college team up there, which is Oregon's one of the best college golf programs there is, and he still maintains a scratch golfer average. And but those are small in comparison to the achievements of just how good of a person he is, how dedicated he is to his family life, how dedicated he is to his coming career, which is going to be in real estate, commercial real estate, and kind of just dedicated to bringing awareness to something that affects his life, but he cares so much about the other people that it makes you care even more. The first time that I heard about the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation was probably when I met Ryan. So My dad and my stepmother Jeannie have been involved with it from day one. Obviously, you find out that your child is born with a potentially life-ending disease, and an orphaned potentially life-ending disease, and they went full boat into, raising money, raising awareness, being involved in specific events. The regional Klassic Invitational is part of kind of that awareness piece that they brought, and that is Jeannie and Christian, who's Ryan's stepdad. That's with a couple other members like Bill Klein and Jim Seitz. That's their baby, and they really have been full boat into a lot of things. There's walks, there's galas, there's all sorts of events. There's fishing tournaments. There's everything that you can imagine. And I think that is what kind of brings the family aspect, the importance of the family aspect into it, because everybody's full boat in it. It got me involved. It got my fiance involved. It's one of those things where you grow a new world, a new lifestyle, new friends, and new family, which is what the cystic fibrosis community is, and it's really meaningful to all of us. It really is the tip of the spear, right? They are the forefront of everything that's going on for raising both awareness and donations, or funds, if you will. And what they do is they put together this amazing staff of people who become your friends and family, right? And who care about you and this disease like they truly are your blood relatives. And they spearhead this operation that is, really, it's hard to gain any foothold in the world where you have things like cancer research and AIDS research, cystic fibrosis being an orphan disease. It's much harder to gain that awareness. And when you don't have that awareness, you don't have the availability to grab the funds that fund the science behind it. And I mean, the CF community, the foundation, I should say, they are amazing at their jobs. And every week there is something going on somewhere across the country. I know in Southern California, CFF Southern California, James, Drew, Matt, Shayna, there's Tomorrow's Leaders, there's Hook the Cure, there's all of the walks that they do, and these are all amazing events. There's the Classic Golf event, there's the 65 Roses golf event, there's Hike the Halo, there's Extreme Hike, there's Extreme Golf. There is not a month that goes by where something isn't being done to raise the awareness and the funds. And then on top of it, they make those events so fun. Personally, I love the things that grab the community together, like the Classic, right? It's a large group of people all in the same room, doing the same thing, headed in the same directions for cystic fibrosis. And the foundation puts these on. There's beach brews and barbecues, which is kind of a fun, outdoorsy, beer drinking environment. But without the foundation, there would be none of this. It would be individual parents trying to do individual things through crowdfunding or something of that nature. So they really pack it all in and work so incredibly hard for this disease. What would I tell a new parent who finds out that their child has cystic fibrosis? That's a great question. I would say trust the science, trust the medicine, trust the doctors. I think that now, more than ever, we are getting to hopefully what will be the final stages of this. Everything has led to this kind of point where we're not completely curing it yet, but we're very close. So have faith in the foundation, have faith in the doctors, and have faith in the medicine, which is the science. I think that what 10 years ago, 20 years ago sounded like a death sentence now is a treatable, maybe not curable, but treatable disease. So things are going to be okay. I have a very big fondness for Christian Adicott because he is a guy that dove headfirst into his stepson, Ryan, my brother's disease. And he is constantly thinking of new ideas and new ways to cure his son. And I know that he and Jim were probably sitting back having a beer at one point and said, like, what can we do, you know? And they came up with the regional Classic Invitational. And you know, it's as funny sometimes as scribbling something down on a napkin, and it makes something as big as the Classic that has spanned now 10 years. So the Regional Classic Invitational helps both children and adults with CF through raising awareness and raising money. And they're of equal importance. Raising awareness does the same thing as raising money. You know, you incite some belief in someone who doesn't know what CF is for the first time, and then they go home to their core group of people and they say, hey, this invitational event was super cool. You need to come next year. And they get a group of people to do that, and it expands and it expands. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. And you'd be shocked how much awareness is raised just by throwing a fun event. And the second portion of that is the donations and the monies received by throwing the event from the people who are gracious enough to be donors. And what that does is it funds the science, which saves the lives of the people with CF. The Regional Classic Invitational has 2 events. They have the golf portion and they have the gala. Now, what used to be on a Saturday gala, Monday golf, is now going to be a much better design, in my opinion, which is Saturday gala, Sunday golf. So we'll be able to hopefully get more people since nobody's going to have to take off of work. They're both unique in their own rights. The golf event is being held at Monarch Beach Country Club this year, and that's a great golf links. It's a beautiful site. It's right on the water, and we usually get, around 128 golfers, 150 golfers, something around that number, and then go out, double shotgun start, have a breakfast in the morning, and kind of get to hang out with your friends while supporting a good cause. We've got, drink stops on one hole, and then we've got, kind of games on the next hole, longest drive, hole-in-one contest, putting contest, and it's a very, very fun event that is it's run really well. The foundation and the committee members do a great job of putting it all together. The second portion of that is the gala, and that is a true night out, if you will. It's they have a silent auction and a live auction, and they have great food and a band and drinks and a dance floor, and it really is one of those things where you're close to everybody. It's in relation to being able to talk to them. It's not one person over here and one person over there, and it's a very family-esque vibe that they have. And I think that if I were to choose really one event all year that I like, the gala is probably my favorite portion of any event that I go to. So Ryan, it's kind of a funny thing. Ryan's an amazing golfer. He's a scratch golfer, which is pretty awesome, especially when he has cystic fibrosis. But it's fun now, I think, in the last couple of years to be able to see him kind of compete in the event, because he used to do it when he was younger, and then obviously the end of high school and going into college, he didn't have the opportunity so much. So he was kind of fly in for a night, fly out for a night. Now it's nice to see him get to enjoy the fruits of his own labors, so to speak, and have fun. And I think, in my opinion, I think everybody there loves to play with him too, because, I mean, you're there to support him, to try to save his life. And he is very engaging. So anybody who knows Ryan knows that he is an absolute monster on the golf course and a complete goofball and can talk to anybody. So those three things are pretty impressive to see. This event is important to pretty much all of Southern California's cystic fibrosis community, because it is a regional event, and in my belief, it is the premier golf event for raising awareness and funds from, above Los Angeles to below San Diego. They don't have anything like this. So we can really incorporate all of the people into one place who are fighting for the same cause. And the more people you get, the more lives you touch, the more awareness is raised, the more science is funded. It really has a greater impact than just having a lot of fun playing golf and a lot of fun at a gala. There's many ways to get involved with the Classic as far as raising funding. And we do the golfing in the gala, so you can come buy a foursome to play golf. You can be a title sponsor or a regular sponsor. You can buy a table at a dinner. At that dinner, there is both a silent and a live auction, which are incredibly fun. And then there's also what's called an in-kind donation. And those are just a few of the ways. You can also just send in money on the website. It's as simple as that. There's no donation that is too small. I love attending the Regional Classic Invitational. It is so much fun to go out there and play golf. Monarch Beach Golf Links is such an exquisite location, and everybody who's there is there for the same cause. It is a family of people that are raising donations and awareness for this orphan disease. It is a heck of a time to swing a golf club. It doesn't matter if you're good or if you're bad or if you're great like Ryan. It's truly a fun event. And the gala is the same thing. I mean, showing up, dressed up, ready for the live auction and drinks and dancing and the live band, and it's really a unique experience, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So my favorite silent and live auction items from past classics. I would have to say every year my favorite silent auction items are the ones that take you to other places, other events. So I know my family, my fiance and I bought a winery tour, which was really fun. It was in Temecula. I also like to do the other golf courses. So some of the other golf courses in the local Southern California area give a round of golf to either a twosome or a foursome. I've purchased a couple of those, and that's always fun to to get to experience new courses that you probably wouldn't get to go down to and experience otherwise, make a weekend or a family event out of it. And my favorite live auction item is always hands down the trip to Christian Addicot's sister's residence in the south of France. So I've never personally bid on that, but I do know a lot of people who have experienced it, and every single person who's come back said, "Can we go again?" And what that does is that builds every year, and so now every year they're bidding more and more and more for this, but I don't think you could bid enough. It is an amazing estate, and everybody who comes back absolutely adores it. I think this year is a pretty important year to go to the Regional Golf Invitational and Gala, because this year it's Ryan's birthday is very close to the event, so it's a nice little celebration of life for Ryan to show the achievement of how far he's come. It's also our 10-year anniversary. So this year is a very special year to say to the committee members and to the cystic fibrosis community that do attend this, thank you guys. Look how far we've come from 10 years ago till now. And it's an amazing thing. I mean, this Golf Invitational has stuck around and stayed and raised so much money. We've raised over $3 million for an orphan disease just by getting kind people to open their hearts to something that not many people know about. And we grow so much awareness and we fund so much science that I truly believe that it's a must come to event.